Hey, what's on guys, Brad here. So today we're going to be talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duels, the newest booster set, Attack from Deep, which adds May Konami to the game. Now a big thank you does go to Konami because about 2 weeks ago they invited me and a bunch of other YouTubers to their European offices, and we actually got to check out the game early, check out the set early, and play a Speed Duel sneak peek format, which they haven't ever done before. So that was kind of interesting to actually play that format with this set, because this set wasn't designed for that at all. Now, we played 2 tournaments. I won overall. I think I won the first tournament by a landslide, and the second one I kind of did 50-50. But overall that meant I won, so I won like this really cool print of Yu-Gi-Oh! From Dark Dimensions, which is really nice, and I ran 2 decks in that tournament. I'm going to go through this set because this might be a bit of a rambly video because I do like this set and it's a ton of things to talk about in this set. So I, for this tournament, ran 2 decks. The first one was, a very Duel Links focused deck. It was this bad boy here, Leviathan Dragon Daedalus. This guy is insane. If you play Duel Links, you'll know the skill Mythic Depths. That's in this set as well. So those 2 cards combo very well with each other to create some disruptive plays. The second one was a Stool deck. Yes, Stool is now in Speed Duels, featuring Mystical Elf. Now this won't kind of I don't think this will make too much difference, because I'll talk about this, because basically this set suffers from not being designed for that format. And I really want to talk about this at the beginning because it is really a small thing, because this set otherwise is really cool. There's a ton of skills in this set and cards aren't in Duel Links that I want to talk about, because it'd be kind of cool if we saw them in Duel Links. So this set has 2 cards in it. Mystical Elf, which we only just got in Duel Links about 4 months ago, as well as Mask the Accursed, which we will know from Duel Links, a very powerful burn card, 500 points of damage every turn. Now, the second tournament, the majority of my duels were set Mystical Elf and then have a Mask the Accursed in hand. Most of the cards in the set can't get over Mystical Elf unless you, say, boost up one of your monsters, or you have a Leviathan Dragon Daedalus, or you have a Guild for the Lightning, which are both ultra rares in the set, so very hard to pull. So outs for these cards are very hard to pull. There was a trap card, let me see what the trap card was. It was Ready for Intercepting, that's the one. Ready for Intercepting was a pretty easy out, because most of the cards you won't be playing, if they were smart, they'd play warriors, so that if you equip Mask the Curse to it, you can flip your own warrior face down to kind of prevent the burn damage from going off. So it was a very long stall game. Either your opponent got burnt, or they got decked out because they went first or second or whatever, and they end up drawing less cards. So it was a bit of a weird tournament, but the set in general is really, really good, and really good for Speed Duels, because Mako, I think, right now is okay. His deck isn't very good. If you want to play the deck, you are basically playing Daedalus Turbo. You are trying to get that card out as quickly as possible, nuke the field. There isn't the boss monster, the upgraded version of it, so just the one that nukes the board, not the one that nukes the board and hand. But you are playing with a ton of cool cards and skills in this. So there are 3 cards in this set that at the time of the set releasing were new to Duel Links or hadn't been in Duel Links before. So the first one was Infinity Beast, which we literally got that same day that I was there in the Callan event, which is kind of crazy. Now, the reason it's in the set is because of Blade Knight. Blade Knight is an ultra rare, and Blade Knight works to kind of start the handler strategy, which, if you remember in Duel Links, was kind of first popularized by Decade. When he went to Worlds, he used Swiftguard the Fierce Knight in that version, so I wouldn't be surprised if, like, maybe the next set or the set after that, we see Swiftguard the Fierce Knight as an ultra rare. That'd be a really nice ultra, actually. Call back to Retro Pack 2. That'd be really cool if we saw that. But Infinity Beast and Blade Knight starting off that combo for the handless deck, and there is a skill, a Kyber skill that he has, that lets you discard cards from your hand to basically, I'm pretty sure this is what it does. I'm going to read it right now in front of you guys. Viral Infection, this is what Viral Infection does. Once per turn, discard any number of cards and declare one type of card, monster, spell, or trap card. Your opponent then sends one card of the declared type from their deck to the graveyard for every card discarded. If you do, flips card over, so it can be used multiple times per duel, I believe. I'm not too sure with that one, but you can see that would be a very cool card for handless, because the whole goal of that deck is to get no cards in your hand to have a big benefit. So obviously with Infinity Beast, your opponent can activate spell trap cards in the damage step, which in this tournament didn't really matter because it would just be like a Dust Tornado or something, or Ready for Intercepting. But in normal Speed Duels, that means things like Winston with Atarqua, or basically that, With Blade Knight, you're gaining making his attack points 2,000. So it's enhancing that strategy. And I didn't see it before when I first read the skill, but thinking about it today, that's a really, really cool kind of use case for that card. And again, if we get Swiftguard the Fierce Knight, it makes that easier to summon and would be a very cool strategy. Now, as I was saying, there are two other cards in this set that didn't come to Duel Links. The first one is Zombina, which I think really is really cool. And obviously, zombie support for bones from the last set, but this card is pretty crazy. If this card's owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, so battle or card effect, you can target one level 4 low monster in your graveyard except itself, special summon it. So the reason why in Duel Links isn't in because it's probably a much wider pool of level 4s. It doesn't just go for zombies, which if it did, it probably could come to the game, but it brings back any number of level 4s, and I wish I kind of read this before, because I think I kind of didn't use this in my initial Speed Duel deck because it would have been cool for getting back Mystical Elf, which is a real tilting strategy. So that would have been kind of cool if I'd have read that card beforehand and actually used that in the deck. Very cool card. The other one is Apprentice Magician, which basically lets you, when someone's summoned, target card on the field, put a spell counter on it. I believe the only card in the set this works with is Arcane Barrier, which lets you draw cards, so a alternative to Shard of Greed for getting draw power out is pretty nice, and when it's drawn by battle, you get to basically special summon a level 2 or lower spell cast from your deck, so you're essentially searching out itself. Basically, you're just kind of going into itself, keeping on going. I believe then there's like Magical Undertaker, which I think is another card in this set. I'm gonna look right now, because it's in one of these decks. Yeah, Magical Undertaker, which then will let you get your Mystical Elf face down, so like, you can see where this deck was going. Well, it's kind of, one of the strategies of this is a very stall deck with Mystical Elf. Now, the good thing about this set, or like the really cool new thing, is Mako. Mako is in the game, and Mako has 3 new skill cards. One of them is Mythic Depths, which, you know, you would have seen in Duel Links. It's the one that lets you start with Umi on the field. I think that's the best one for him right now, just because, you know, Leviathan Dragon Daedalus is a very easy kind of card to go into. He does have Legendary Fisherman, but again, that card isn't really supported by Umi, and I hope they don't put Sea Stealth Attack in the game. I hope they learn from Duel Links that we don't need that, we don't want that. I haven't got Econ in the game just yet, so we don't want that. There's 2 other skills that he has. There's Catch the Day and the World's Greatest Fisherman, which, you know, one of them's going to get cut off by the green screen, but these cards look sick, you know. So the World's Greatest Fisherman, once per turn you can pay 500 life and discard a water in your hand, then add a water from your graveyard to your hand with a different name and level no more than twice of that monster. So it lets you recycle a monster in your graveyard, which is quite nice. Again, I don't really see it being useful because the deck, like the water monsters in this game are pretty strong anyway. They're all kind of like vanillas apart from like Leviathan Dragon and a couple of others. So I don't see this being too useful, but again, I'm sure someone's going to break it in Speed Duels. And then he has another skill, Catch of the Day, which basically, if you control Legendary Fisherman, you can play a Yumi from your deck, which is really nice. Honestly, it makes it so that it can't be attacked. So that's pretty cool. And then again, it also lets you special summon monsters to your field if Legendary Fisherman destroys monsters. So a swarming potential for that deck. It's a pretty nice skill, but I still think Mythic Depths is best because in Speed Duels, there isn't many spell card removals apart from like Dust Tornado and maybe a few others in the starter decks or something. So there's not too many cards that can kind of deal with that skill. Now, Joey also got an interesting skill as well called It's My Lucky Day. When you activate an effect, they'll make you roll a 6-sided die or flip a coin. Pay 1,000 to decide the result of a die or coin. So only one of those die or coins, I think it is, you can choose the result of, but paying 1,000 to choose the result could be very interesting. So obviously, this clearly, right now in Speed Duels, is designed to go with Time Wizard to get you a kind of a Raigeki on the field, which is a really cool thing to think about, is that, you know, if you open Time Wizard, you have a Raigeki. Obviously, a Raigeki you have to summon, but still, there's not going to be many things to protect, you know, your cards. Like, I guess in Blue Eyes, you have Champion's Vigilance, which would protect it, because as soon as you summon Time Wizard, then you know they're going to kind of go in and try and kill your board. So, a cool skill. This set, I think, is really cool. You know, I think Arena of Lost Souls for a sealed play set was a bit better because you did have things like Sphere Karibo. You did have some really cool tech cards in that set. This set is definitely more interesting to play, I think. I personally quite like the water deck. I think, you know, I'm going to try and build it IRL because I haven't really built a full Speed Duel deck yet. But Leviathan Dragon Daedalus is a really cool card, and, you know, I played it in Duel Links. I loved it in Duel Links. It was so fun to play with and to win duels by nuking the board with Daedalus, and they just can't do anything else. They can't respond. They can't do anything, which was really, really fun to play with. And again, this set has some just cool reprints, like Magician of Fate is an ultra rare, Guild for the Lightning is an ultra rare, Sonic Bird is an ultra rare. What else is in here? There is, I don't know, actually, it's kind of it. Blade Knight, like, there's some cool stuff in this set, and I believe the sets after this, there's going to be a booster set that has Guild for the Swordmaster and Joey on it, so Joey's going to get a big focus in that set, as well as Rex and Weevil have their own star decks coming out. So, more Speed Duel content coming in July. I'm thinking about doing more Speed Duel content on the channel as like the months go on. Maybe some live duels, some deck profiles kind of things. So if you want to see that, let me know down below. Thanks for watching this video. I know it's not Duel Links or Legacy Duelist, but hopefully you guys found it interesting. And again, would you like any of these skills to come to Duel Links? I think the Viral Infection one could be a very tilting skill. I think it'd be really, really cool. And especially considering your skills can't be chained to, you could make it so your opponents discard their entire spell trap card lineup. You know, like if you're playing against a Neos player, you just call spell and they get rid of their entire Neos fusions. So you kind of lock them out of some plays. So that could be a really interesting skill, a really tilting skill, and one I think would be very cool in Duel Links. But again, I think this is going to stay TCG exclusive for a while. So let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all down below. That didn't make any sense. I will see you all in the next Duel Links video.